Hello and welcome to Practically Effective. This is a podcast by Will and I about effects, props and stunts in various films. And today we quite poorly decided to talk about The Running Man.
Not completely without reason.
No, this is true. In fact, there are two reasons why we're doing The Running Man this week, this day. Because we're not weekly.
We're bi-weekly.
Yeah, we're bi-weekly. We forgot to mention that. Come back every 2 weeks for new exciting episodes of nonsense.
It's not this one, though.
So, Will, there are two reasons why we're doing The Running Man.
There are.
What?
Stephen King.
Yes, he asked. He requested personally, after hearing our sterling work, that we talk about his famous book. So, Stephen King wrote the initial book, The Running Man, under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, and the It movie is coming out, also based on a Stephen King book.
For very tenuous reasons. And desperately trying to make it relevant to what's going on. I say,
and the second reason why we're doing The Running Man is because at the beginning of the movie, the title card declares that in 2017 the world has gone to Alright, so shall we dive right into...
dive right into the excitement that is the Running Man film.
Yeah. So
I thought this film wasn't a boring film. Don't get me wrong, it's a bad film, but it's not a boring film.
Definitely not boring, and it's not the kind of film that I'd never watch again.
Yeah.
I'd happily sit down and watch this again.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Yep. So for those of you who have not seen The Running Man, which is probably a few of you because I don't think it's that well known.
Most people.
The basic synopsis is that it's a post-apocalyptic future.
It's not really post-apocalyptic. Like, there hasn't really been an apocalypse. It's just
the world sucks.
well,
That's a good point. The world has the future.
Dystopian future.
Yes, that's a much better way of saying it. So there's still people and cities and televisions and stuff, but I suppose the poor people are repressed and it's a police state, I suppose.
Yeah.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger in the opening scene is a helicopter pilot, and presumably this is his first mission.
I assume so, yeah. It seems like the kind of thing he would get orders to do quite a lot.
So the helicopter with 5 people in it flies over a food riot. There's a riot, but they haven't got any weapons, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is ordered to shoot at the rioters and basically kill as many of them as possible. And he refuses, so he gets sent to prison.
Yeah.
Then he escapes from prison, and then is caught again and forced to compete in the game show The Running Man, where you have to not be killed
by a bunch of ridiculously themed, super villainesque.
But everyone who's ever competed has been killed.
Yeah. What I don't understand is, so there are many villains that go after him.
Yep.
So apparently that's the first time one of the hunters has been killed.
One of the stalkers.
Well, in the book they're called hunters.
Which is way cooler.
As we discussed, is a better name. Yep. But apparently that's the first time one of them has been killed.
Yep.
But it makes me then think, how then did any of the other contestants get past even the first section?
That's a really good question.
Unless, like, all the other game shows lasted like 30 seconds and they got killed straight away.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how you could even get past the first section without killing the guy.
And there's not really, like, an objective. It's not like you have to collect things.
Yeah.
And they say you have to get through the 4 sectors of the game.
Yeah.
And there's no clear and obvious goal at the end. And it's also just a way to execute prisoners.
Prisoners, essentially, yeah.
So what's the point in there even being a goal and 4 sections and anything?
Well, he has to get past these guys. But in the first section, if you remember, like, they sealed him in.
Yeah.
So how was he supposed to get past the first section
without
killing him? And it's supposedly the first time any of the chasers has died.
Maybe you could, like, incapacitate them, knock them out.
By the time they knocked him out, they'd probably
kill him anyway, yeah.
It's one of the many things in this film that doesn't quite add up.
What should we talk about next? Should we do some of the setup first?
Alright.
Because there's actually quite a bit before they get to the Running Man tournament. They leap right into it.
Yeah.
Which is good. Takes time to set up and learn about the character of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He always plays very subtle characters.
I saw quite a few reviews that said this was some of his best acting. like, to date.
His acting is the same as it is in one of his other films.
All he does is say one-liners and shout, "Look out!"
Yeah. Do you like how every time one of the hunters dies, he has a appropriate pun?
Yes. I was really hoping at the bit when Dynamo is killed, nowhere near him, he'd just pop in with a quip and then leave again. He's never fazed by anything that's happening. No. He's not like, this is a surprise, or even, I'm a bit scared this man with a chainsaw might cut me in half.
There's no real reason for him to be like that. Like in Predator, like he's supposed to be this badass soldier guy, you know?
Yeah.
But in this, it's not really clear.
Well, he must have been working for the government.
Yeah.
You don't get to fly helicopters freelance.
Yeah. Well, my point is, it's not made clear, like, was he in the military or something? Was he, like, in Vietnam?
That would make sense. He could be a soldier. Because he's fine with killing armed people. He just doesn't like killing unarmed people.
I reckon he was probably a soldier.
That makes sense.
That's why he's not really fussed by people with chainsaws.
Because that's what happens in war. Look out, the enemy have chainsaws!
Get this chopper!
Apparently, the shot of the 3 helicopters flying along
King Kong.
Is from
Sorry to steal your thunder.
Is from the 1976 remake of King Kong.
Is it, Joe?
Yeah, I'm going to edit out you stealing my fact. Also, if there's 3 helicopters...
Yeah. Why can't the others just fly on them?
Also, they say there's a riot of like 1,500 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later on, the TV presenter is saying they killed 60 people. That's not a good hit rate.
That's pretty...
If you've got 3 helicopters as well.
Yeah. So apparently, if you study that scene, the coordinates that the helicopter is attacking, if you look at those and then match them up to real life, it's like some elementary school in California, apparently. And apparently, the helicopter manages to fly 250 miles in like 5 seconds.
It's the future, Will. Do we see any like future technologies?
Not really.
She has the woman in her apartment has like voice activated stuff.
They have a rocket sled.
They do have a rocket sled. I don't understand why. So basically, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes into the TV studio and he's introduced to the audience who hate him because they think he did this helicopter massacre.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my favourite bits, when they showed the re-edited footage of him apparently doing the Bakersfield massacre. And then he gets into what's basically like a little toboggan. Yeah. A rocket-powered toboggan.
Yeah.
And then they send him in a tunnel. And also, so they blackmail Schwarzenegger that he's not going to sign the contract that you have to sign to be killed in this game show. So they say, oh, we've got 2 of your mates here. If you go into the arena, they won't have to. And then the evil TV presenter shoves them in the arena as well.
So presumably they signed the contract as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, they then fire the 3 rocket sleds, and you get like a 1minute and 90-second sequence.
Yeah.
Where Schwarzenegger's just flying through a tunnel. And then he gets caught at the end by a big net.
Apparently, though, none of that was CGI. That was all done. They actually apparently put rockets on the back of the sled. I'm not even joking. That's apparently what they did.
Yeah, I heard some of it was miniatures as well. It's a bit of a mix.
You know, at the end where the presenter guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger basically puts the presenter guy in the same sled.
Well, but it's really odd because he says halfway through, "Killian, I'm gonna punch you in the face so hard that I rip out your spine," or something. Where's the line? It's such a nonsense.
It's something nonsense like that.
I'm gonna live to make you eat that contract, but make sure you leave enough space for my fist, because I'm gonna shove it down your throat and break your spine.
That's sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger's subtle.
Something like that. Acting. And then when he finally meets the villain in the last showdown, they chat for a bit, and then Schwarzenegger just puts him in a sled and then rockets him down a tunnel. Yeah. And presumably Schwarzenegger doesn't know that the net isn't there.
I would think he does.
Did he take it with him?
Yeah. He was planning ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, but I was just saying that they apparently got a sled and put giant rockets on it and like launched it off a ramp to get that shot. And they did it in one take as well.
That's brilliant.
Oh, more rocket-related facts.
I'm on board for
You know
rocket
the
facts.
guy who has a jetpack?
Yes, Fireball.
Yeah, Fireball. Apparently they got actual solid rocket engines and just like strapped him to his back and activated them. And he had to wear like fireproof trousers and things.
So wait, that was actually a man in a jetpack?
I don't think it was actually I don't think he was actually flying around on a jetpack. But he had rocket motors on his back. I don't think they were powerful enough to lift him up.
Because there's a Bond movie with a jetpack in it, and I think that was a real jetpack.
It might have been a real jetpack. I'm not sure. I looked to see if I could find, but it wasn't quite clear, the wording.
Probably wasn't.
I don't think it was.
The Running Man.
I don't think it was.
Doesn't have quite the pull of James Bond, does it? Shall we talk about these stalkers then for a bit? There's four. No, there's five because one of them's retired.
Mm.
And basically, the idea of the game show is that the members of the audience pick one of these people to go and murder the terrible person. So they first send in Sub-Zero.
Buzzsaw, no?
Sub-Zero first.
Oh yeah, it's the hockey guy.
The hockey guy.
Hockey guy, yeah. The ice hockey guy.
Will, would you like to describe him for everyone? Tell us what his amazing abilities are.
If I remember rightly, his amazing ability is that he has a hockey stick. Oh yeah, they have to make sure that the arena where he's playing in has ice on it because he goes around on ice skates.
That's a good point. The woman on the show just picks Sub-Zero just as Arnie stumbles into an ice rink.
Presumably, had she picked Sub-Zero at a later time, it'd have been completely useless.
What if she'd picked Fireball and he just melted the ice? So yes, he skates around on the
ice. His
ice.
weapon is just an ice hockey stick, isn't it?
It's a sharpened ice hockey stick.
Wow.
I know.
And there's that random net.
There is a net that like closes like a clam.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, it's too silly. He gets Arnold Schwarzenegger's buddy and he's like pushing him around like an ice hockey puck.
Yeah, he is.
It's too silly, I can't.
So Arnie is not sent into the arena alone.
Yeah.
He has his two mates, one of whom is Parker, an alien.
Yeah.
And one of whom is the most cliche movie tech guy you can imagine.
Yes.
A small, scrawny guy with big glasses.
Yeah.
And also Arnie's girlfriend.
Gets sent in later.
Yes, but is she in the Sub-Zero scene?
No, she's not.
Cool. I feel like we haven't done the setup properly. I think we should do the setup and then come to the nonsense that happens in the arena. Because we haven't talked about the prison break scene.
Right.
And we haven't talked about the airport either.
No.
Okay, so the prison break. Basically, they're in a future prison which has no walls of any kind.
It has several giant pillowy type things.
And if you go past them...
If you go past them, you're wearing a collar and your head explodes.
Yep. So they're trying to deactivate it.
Yeah.
Basically, their cunning escape plan is one of the guards deactivates the fence and someone basically peeps over their shoulder. The tech guy remembers the code.
And the thing is, the control to deactivate the fence is just like right in the middle of an open area. He doesn't even have like a little office off to the side or anything.
No.
He's just like sitting there right in the middle of.
They're all walking around carrying large lumps of metal in this weird future prison, and some guy's just peering over his shoulder, and he types in a 6-digit code.
Yeah.
Then
in the largest font possible.
It takes up the entire screen. And then basically Arnie and his mates start a prison riot. Arnie and Parker start a prison riot, and in the kerfuffle, someone steals the briefcase laptop. The guy opens it, and the code screen is just there.
Yeah.
So he types in the code completely correctly.
But it doesn't work.
So while the riot's going on, the code is and isn't working, and the fence is active and deactive.
Yeah.
And then a guy, I can't remember what the guy's name is.
I don't remember.
They keep shouting his name.
He tries running through the fence and his head blows up. Tragic scene.
It's hilarious.
That guy was one of my favourite characters. He got so much development, I really cared about him when he died. They have like a firefight with the guards.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of guards, and they all have guns except there's the prisoner on his laptop typing in the code to deactivate the fence, and on the other side there's the guard typing in the code to activate the fence. And the prisoner keeps deactivating it, and the guard keeps reactivating it.
Oh, is that why it's...
That's why it keeps... And so they're fighting each other, and they kill all the guards except the guy on the laptop. And the guy on the laptop, it's like he's not even in cover or anything, he's just standing in the open. But it still takes them like a good 20 seconds to like kill that guy.
Yeah. You should have led with that, really. Kill him first. So then, all these prisoners escaped. And Arnie breaks into his brother's house, and by breaks in, I mean he uses the code.
Yeah.
But his house has been sold to someone else who didn't change the code.
Yeah.
And it's an attractive young woman.
Of course.
Naturally. Then Arnie, he like uses her as a hostage, doesn't he?
He tries to get her security pass for the airport, travel pass.
So his plan to escape the country is that he needs a travel pass.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the airport, shows the guard her travel pass, and then the guard asks where the lady's travel pass. And Arnie goes, "Oh, you'll never find it in that handbag." and then an old woman behind them goes, "Oh, taking ages." And then the guard's like, "Oh, go through then."
Yeah.
So
best plan ever.
What Arnie should have done
is killed her.
He should have got a robotic head. Worn it over his, got a big handbag, gone, "Oh, I'll never find it in this handbag. It might take me 2 weeks.
Holiday for 2 weeks."
Yeah. So
I have a slightly effect-related thing.
Go on.
You know, in a lot of films, they have like random, just background filler images.
Yeah.
And in The Running Man, they had what was basically like a control room for the show.
Yeah.
And there's like all those screens in the background. Basically, if you actually read what those are, they like say complete nonsense. They just don't make any sense. And in particular, when they roll the credits, the Running Man TV show. The Running Man TV show in the Running Man film.
Yeah.
When they run the credits for that, it says stuff like art direction by this guy and primary colours. What happened? Don't know. It's just random words, essentially.
Great job. You know, at the end of the actual movie, at the end of the credits, there's like a we thank our sponsors kind of over the top at the end of the credits. That's pretty good. I like this program was sponsored by paramilitary uniforms.
Is that what it says?
I think it's one of the things. And then it's like, drink this drink.
I remember that bit.
Yeah.
So, you know Richard Dawson, who played the host of The Running Man? Killian, yeah. Best villain name.
It is.
So he hosted a real life game show called Family Feud.
I heard.
And apparently, according to like other people, the way in which Killian treats his underlings is quite similar to how he treated people on Family Feud.
So,
like, he fires that guy who was mopping the floor.
Right at the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Killian and he's walking into his building. And this doddery old man with a mop kind of mops him on the shoe.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Killian. I'm so very, very sorry." And Killian's like, "Don't you worry there, sir. You're doing a great job. You're keeping this place beautifully clean. You're doing a fantastic work." And I thought, oh, interesting. We're going to get a villain.
With like some depth.
He's going to be like a nice guy who generally thinks he's doing the right thing. And then he steps into the lift and says to his assistant, "If I see that guy in this building again, you'll be mopping the floor for the next month." And I was like, oh, no.
Nope.
He's just a mean man.
Oh, we haven't touched on the Trans-American Ultra Quiz. Apparently, they drew slightly on this 1980s Japanese game show called Trans-American Ultra Quiz, in which contestants had to undergo various unpleasant tasks. So, like, apparently in one of them they were just dropped in the middle of a desert.
What?
They were dropped in the middle of a desert, and there were various question cards, like, scattered around the desert as well. And the contestants had to find these cards and answer the questions on them.
Good grief! And this is a real TV show?
That was a real TV show. And the winner... So the reason it was called Trans-American Ultra Quiz is because you won a trip to, like, I think it was New York or something.
Yeah.
And so the winner was whoever managed to endure these unpleasant tasks the longest.
Oh well, that sounds like fun actually.
I'd be on board for that. Running around the desert, hell yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good if it was like that, but if it's like dive into this tank of piranhas.
Well, apparently another one of them was there was like a true or false question.
Mm-hmm.
And if you thought it was true, you walked through one door, and if you thought it was false, you walked through another door.
Right.
And if you were right, then you just went through the door and like nothing really happened. And if it was false, apparently that you like fell into like a pit of mud or something.
Okay, that's not. I was expecting you were going to say if you were wrong, you got like a mild electric shock or something.
No. Apparently that was like the first round, like the second round.
Yeah.
And then the punishments got progressively worse.
That doesn't sound that bad. Isn't that like being murdered on television?
I didn't say people were gonna be murdered. Oh yeah, something interesting.
Yeah.
There's a guy in it. One of the Resistance people makes a reference to Star Trek, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He mentions Spock.
Yeah.
And one of the other guys says, "Who's Spock?"
Yeah.
Well, the film is set in 2017, and obviously they didn't realise that Star Trek would still be very much a thing in 2017.
I assumed that was a reference to all the censorship.
Oh, yeah.
Because Arnie is, when he's going through that woman's cupboard for some reason, he finds a load of cassettes.
Yeah.
The dominant form of music in 2017.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, these are all on the censored
illegal,
list.
yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
So we go back to the Stalkers then? Talk about the Stalkers.
Ugh. Yeah. Right.
We did Sub-Zero. What I didn't mention about Sub-Zero, my favourite part, is Arnie kills him by wrapping barbed wire around his neck, and he dies in a horribly violent way.
Yeah.
And the studio audience is just shocked to silence.
Yeah.
Killian is there, and he's like, oh, these people are barbaric. And then Schwarzenegger looks up at the camera and he goes, hey, Killian! He was Sub-Zero! Now, Plain Zero. And the audience is still there, shocked in silence. And then they walk away, him and Parker, and they do a little high five. As if Parker's like, you got him, man.
You got him.
Oh, dear.
Nuanced action.
Yep. Something you just mentioned that we haven't talked about, we haven't even touched on, is the whole Resistance subplot.
Yeah.
And
that's so ridiculous. Like, why is there control for the television in the middle of the Running Man game show area?
I don't actually understand, but they discover the uplink to the TV show.
So, they discover a way to basically contact the television satellite.
Yes.
And override it so that the government channel doesn't broadcast and they can broadcast their own stuff.
Yes.
And for some reason, the control to do this is in some rundown shack in the middle of the playing ground for the Running Man TV show.
Yeah. Well, the Resistance base was in there as well.
Yeah.
Which I thought made sense, because it's abandoned, and there's like one guy there in, what is it, like a 400 block radius, I think you say?
Yeah. But it doesn't make any sense that their satellite uplink would be there.
It's a nonsense. Also, the guy finds the code, and it's like 8 numbers.
Yeah.
8 two-digit numbers. And then you can broadcast anything you want. So, we've done Sub-Zero. Who was next?
I think next was Buzzsaw and Fireball, wasn't it?
No, Buzzsaw and Dynamo.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Dynamo is the worst. Dynamo is an opera singer covered in LEDs.
Yeah, he is.
Who shoots like electricity like the Emperor does.
So apparently the actor was an actual singer.
Yeah.
And so that's him singing when he does it. It's not like dubbed over.
Yeah. It's still a terrible power for a murderer.
I'm not saying that as like defense of like why it's good. I'm just making what I thought was an interesting comment.
Okay, so Buzzsaw comes out.
Yeah.
And he's like a hulking guy. He has a chainsaw. It's not strapped to his arm, he just carries it.
He just carries it around, I think.
He has a chainsaw.
Also, he can like put it on the front of his bike.
And he rides around on a motorcycle.
And there's like a little slot on his bike he can put the chainsaw on.
Dynamo. He's just a plump man.
A plump man, yeah.
And he rides around in a little car.
He does.
And he's covered in LEDs.
He's defeated by a sprinkler.
He's the least threatening man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What if that guy... no, the old lady, instead of asking for Sub-Zero, what if she asked for Fireball and Dynamo? Because Fireball would have melted all the ice and then Dynamo would have been killed. Even the guy choosing him, he's like, maybe Dynamo, but actually no Buzzsaw. And then Killian's like,
no, it's both of them.
yeah, well, we've got to give Dynamo a go, haven't we?
It's like they feel sorry for him. And no one ever picks him. Okay, here we go.
It's the kind of thing that marketing would be like, well, Dynamo hasn't been picked recently. What can we do to make him cool? And someone was like, let's give him a little car. And then
Buzzsaw has a motorbike. Let's give this guy a crappy little car.
And then he drives the car up a hill, and then it rolls over immediately.
It's just first of all, he gets defeated by a slight incline, and then he gets defeated by a sprinkler.
His only weaknesses. Schwarzenegger should have run up the hill and gone, "It's over, Dynamo! I have the high ground!" The other thing we haven't talked about is the previous winners.
Who are all dead. Spoilers. Not that we haven't spoiled anything already.
So they're criminals, right? Generally murderers.
Yeah.
Why would they let them go at the end?
But they don't.
No, but I mean, to the viewing audience, imagine we are watching The Running Man, the TV show. I wouldn't be on board for the show if the criminal, like the Bakersfield Massacre Man, Butcher,
Bakersfield Massacre Man,
if he completed all 4 of the tasks that we don't really understand, and then got to go live on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't support that show. Apparently it's the most viewed show, like, in all of the world.
Yeah.
For some reason.
We've got to remember how much control the government has over the TV.
True.
So they can basically just ram it down your throats all the time.
We only see one other TV show, don't we, in the movie? There's the one where the guy's climbing up a rope away from some dogs.
Yeah. There's the news as well.
And the news, yes. In the book, there's one other TV show, and it's called, it's something like Treadmill to Riches.
Right.
And basically, you're on a treadmill, and you're asked questions, and if you get them right, you get like $100.
Yeah.
And if you get them wrong, the treadmill starts going faster.
Yeah.
But it turns out that everyone on the show has a heart condition. Or some kind of respiratory disorder.
Yeah.
So basically you just keep going until the person either passes out or dies.
We haven't really talked much about the differences between the book and the film.
I can talk about the book if you want. Once again, I have read the book. All the book.
So Joe, how does the book end?
Alright, I'll come clean. I've read about 3/4 of the book. And it's very good. I'm going to finish it. I found a quote. If you want me to talk about the book now, I'll do it. All right, I found a quote online. There was an article, and it was something like, it was about the Running Man book, I think, and the movie. And this is one of the comments under the article. All right, the film is based on the book in the same way as my feces are based on what I ate for dinner yesterday. Which is a brilliant quote and sums it up really well.
I think, from what you're saying about the book, it does.
It is very, very loosely based on the book. I'm not going to say it's the book in name only, because there are elements that go through. I'll start with Ben Richards and his predicament. Okay, you're going to have to throw out everything you think you know about the Running Man. There's no helicopter pilot, there's no motorcycle chainsaw people, there's no weird sled.
Weird hockey people.
Yeah. There's no arena, none of that. So Ben Richards is just a poor man, essentially. He has a wife and he has a baby who's, I can't remember what the baby has, but the baby is very sick and that he can't afford to pay for doctors to come look after his child. So he goes up to like a skyscraper, a big building where the TV is.
Where the TV
is. Where the TV headquarters.
The one TV.
No, actually the TVs are all free. So everyone watches them. So he goes there and basically you get paid to go on these shows, which is but they're all incredibly violent, like the treadmill one. And basically the rich people get kicks out of watching the poor people like having heart failures on national television. So the Running Man show, there's no arena. Basically you leave the building, you get a 12-hour head start and you can go anywhere in the world.
Do they give you like some money?
They give you a certain amount of money to get you started. There are hunters, but any like policeman in the world can stop you and catch you, and anyone that stops you gets a reward for doing so. For every hour you stay alive, your family gets $100. And if you survive a month, then you get $1 billion. Right?
And does it then stop?
Yes.
Or just keep going?
The other interesting thing about it is that if a member of the public reports you, or if it leads to them finding you, then the member of the public gets $100. And if it leads to a kill, they get 1,000. So basically everyone is on the lookout for you. You can't trust anyone. And it's much less action, it's much more psychological. And he constantly is looking over his shoulder. He keeps thinking that people have spotted him, that it's paranoia, really. It's really very good.
It sounds a lot better than the film.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Ben Richards has to record himself for 10 minutes every day, and then he sends that back to the headquarters. And if he at any point he doesn't send back a recording so they can put it on TV, then he loses all his money. Essentially, his family loses all the money. So they claim that they won't look at where the postmarks are to track you down where you are in the world, but I haven't actually got to that bit in the book yet where they've admitted it, but it's heavily implied that they are.
Yeah.
And they're using that to essentially cheat.
So they only broadcast that 10 minutes, that's all they get.
So there's two men running at the same time. He doesn't team up with the other guy like they do in the movie. And they'll broadcast, I don't know how long the broadcast is, but there'll be a bit where the guy talks about what's happened before, and then he'll show the clip, and everyone will be like, look at this savage, despicable man, look at his stupid face. And then there'll be like a call out to anyone, like, keep an eye out for this man. If you find him, money for you. It's kind of implied in the book that one of the reasons it's the most popular TV show
is because they want to get these rewards.
Is because you can get money from it, yeah. And so I've just got to the bit where the other running man has been caught, and 2 kids have reported him, and he's like, oh, on the next show we're going to get these 2 heroes of America in and present them with $1,000 each because we're so generous. But,
it sounds a lot better than the film.
Yeah. They also, there's no like lie about him. They don't ever say, oh, he murdered a bunch of people or he's a criminal. He's not even a criminal in the book. He's just a bit of a jerk. So he has a complete contempt for all these people who think they're better than him just because they were born north of the canal and because they're a bit richer than he is. And then when they send him out in front of the crowd, they don't tell any lies about him, but they've kind of... They twist it.
Present him in a certain light.
Yeah. They really like rile him up just before he goes out there, so he's really mad at everyone. I know we're not fan of reboots, but I would happily see a movie...
Reboot, but based it more firmly
based on the book, yeah. And I haven't got to the end yet. It might have a terrible ending. And then Ben Richards was abducted by aliens. And then he woke up and it was all a dream. Apparently, it's written by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Apparently, he wrote it in a week. And they published basically the first draft. Also, the book is not set in 2017.
No.
2025.
I wonder why they moved it forward for the film.
I have no idea.
So that seems like a completely pointless thing to do.
So there you are. It's my second terrible book review.
We should stress not a review of a terrible book.
No. A very bad review of quite a good book so far.
What do you rate the book?
I'd rather read The Running Man than Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is 500-600 pages probably. It's a long book.
So what you're just saying is you have a short attention span. You just read a short book.
So Jurassic Park takes its time talking about all the science and the dinosaur science and all that sort of thing. This book is much snappier and we're to it. There's 100 chapters, but each chapter is only like between 1.5 pages and 3 pages. If you like your dystopian fiction, give it a read.
I might read it actually.
Yeah, I'll lend it to you.
You've convinced me.
If I finish it in the next couple of days, I'll throw it over to you. Through your window. I'll just tie it to a brick. Alright. To my notes, Will. So some of the other people they were interested in for the role of Ben Richards, Christopher Reeve, who was original Superman.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been very good. Ben Richards in the book, right? He's a tall guy, but he's also malnourished.
Okay.
So he's no way muscular and no way strong.
But here's the thing though. So the reason you gave, which is a good reason, is that it's more similar to the book description.
Yeah.
But the rest of the film deviates so much from the book that it doesn't matter anymore. You might as well just embrace the ridiculousness. Put Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. He can make some puns occasionally.
That's a good point.
And just to go with the craziness.
I can't imagine anyone else saying those lines.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Captain Freedom.
We have not talked about Captain Freedom. You see him earlier on doing... That's another TV show you see.
Yeah?
Captain Freedom's workout.
Yes! Yes! You ready for pain?
He never actually fights.
I was going to say that.
The TV producer spends ages like trying to convince Captain Freedom to go on.
Yeah. And he comes in and does this whole completely over-the-top speech about how, like, it's a noble sport, the days of the gladiators.
Yeah.
When actually, it's like an unarmed man in a yellow jumpsuit versus a man with a chainsaw and a motorbike.
That was another thing. When Arnold Schwarzenegger he comes on, he's on the show for the first time. Like, he's getting introduced. He's wearing like some like fairly, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
He's wearing like fairly regular clothes.
Yeah.
And then he like tears his clothes off.
There's two of the dance women pull on each side.
And there's this like spandex yellow jumpsuit. I think I actually laughed out loud when I was watching it. It was so ridiculous.
There were sites that said there's something about a Running Man 2 and that there's a script.
If it's a reboot, like you said, based more on the book, I'd be up for that. Or if they just go nuts with it again, I would also be up for that, to be honest.
What I like is I like Arnie to come back, but in the Captain Freedom role. So like it's a TV show and like the guy's sneaking around the whole world and he's sending in tapes and they're trying to work out where he is. And Arnie just storms in to the TV, like onto the TV set. He's like, back in my day, it was a gladiatorial sport. I killed a man with a chainsaw. With my bare hands.
That'd be great.
That's the other thing. Why didn't he pick up any of the weapons dropped by these people?
Yeah, he didn't, did he? That's a bit strange.
He could have used some of them. Like,
even the sharpened hockey stick.
Yeah. He could have used the sharpened hockey stick. That guy also had bombs.
Which guy?
The Sub-Zero had little hockey puck bombs.
Yeah,
you remember that? I think he had one, but still. Okay, let's rank the stalkers.
Alright, from what, according to the ridiculousness or what?
How effective they'd actually be at killing people.
Oh. Fireball would be the most effective.
That's, flamethrower beats chainsaw, doesn't it? And a jetpack as well, yeah.
So, Fireball, then Buzzsaw.
I think then it's Sub-Zero.
Then it would have to be Sub-Zero and then...
Captain Freedom.
And Captain Freedom, then Dynamo.
If you were a stalker on the Running Man, what would your gimmick be?
I would have an aeroplane.
A tiny aeroplane?
No. I'd have an A-10.
Right.
And then I'd just shoot him. And then that'd be it.
Doesn't make good TV. You have to be on the ground.
Right.
Okay, you have a mode of transport.
Yeah.
And you have a weapon. Because all of them have a mode of transport.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero has...
legs.
I was going to say ice skates. But yeah, legs. That works. And they all have a nonsense weapon.
I don't know, jetpack and a rifle.
No. Like, Will, this is not Sport of the Gladiators.
I want to like just sit in the roof somewhere and wait for them to walk past and just... I don't care about good TV.
What would your nonsense name be?
I don't know, man.
You'd be sharpshooter.
That's not ridiculous enough.
That's a good point. The
Eagle
gun.
Eye.
That's the one. Alright, what would I take? I like the idea of a sword. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's too close to Sub-Zero and his sword stick. I want to be like Sub-Zero. I want to have a nonsense theme. I've worked it out. I'd have a horse.
Okay, off to a good start.
And I'd have a lance.
Oh my god.
And I'd be covered in like plastic armor. I'd be like Sir Lancelot because I lance people. Sir Impale-a-Lot.
The Impaler.
The Impaler. You're so good at these names. And now the question is obviously, what terrible one-liner would Arnie say when he killed us?
Oh, I think for me it'd be like, you didn't see that one coming.
And I'd get night night.
That's a good one.
And then he'd have to kill my horse.
You would.
And then you have to do a horse pun. Oh, I had a bit of like behind the scenes stuff before it was made.
Yeah.
So one of the people, when they saw, or I think they saw the script, they wanted to relocate the whole thing to a shopping mall.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I think it would have been better. Because they're just running around a massive empty space. They're not trapped anywhere, and they don't really use the environment to their advantage, except Arnie, like, barbed wire is one of them.
And, what's his face, who drives his car up a cliff and falls over.
I don't think Arnie was planning that. I just think it was like, I'll just run over this hill, and then he looked behind him, and the guy just rolled.
I mean, you wouldn't expect a slight incline to stop a car.
No. It's not even a top-heavy car. It's like one of the lowest cars I've ever seen. He was like, I must get away from Dino. Oh, he's falling down the hill.
He is the worst one, isn't he? He's so hopeless. Like, he's not even threatening. It's so terrible.
Oh, the other thing I had was that there's a guy, I don't know what the director's name was, but at the beginning of production they had a guy who was starting to film it. And 8 days in, right, he was $8 million over budget.
Wow.
And 4 days behind schedule.
What?
8 days
How
in.
did they manage that?
So he got fired.
Of course he got fired.
It's ridiculous.
I don't even see how that film cost $8 million in total, to be honest.
But apparently the guy they got in afterwards, he was like a TV guy, and he filmed it like a TV show. And Arnie said that it lost a lot of the deeper themes by filming it that way.
Sure.
I don't know what deeper themes they were going for.
All the deeper themes.
We lost them. They're all gone.
We got to the chopper. I mean, any sort of dystopian police state film has the potential for deeper themes.
Yeah.
Along those sort of lines, but
we really didn't
I don't think they were even intending to explore those.
Yeah. Should we wrap up?
Yeah.
We should first apologise for the lack of special effects talk in this one.
It's because the only effects are some LEDs and a sled.
And because there's so little information online about them. But I like the idea of doing more obscure movies every now and then. Because then we don't waste all the really good movies while we're really bad at podcasting.
Yes. Like our first 3 were all quite good films, and they're all our... Hopefully our 3 worst. Hopefully we'll get better.
Theory goes we should improve,
it's all downhill from here, Joe.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger going down into the tunnel.
Down that slide.
Just downhill very quickly. Best effect, worst effect.
What effects are there even? The sled.
The sled. But then you can say Sub-Zero's death. I mean, that's definitely not the best effect, but it's an effect because he loses all his fingers. And what else do they do?
Head explosions.
Head explosion. Oh yes, that's the best effect. That's my favourite.
No, I can't have head explosion, can I? I've got to
if you want.
Else. No.
You must think of the plethora of other effects.
I'm gonna go with the sled. No.
Terrible effect.
No. I'm gonna go with Dynamo's car.
What, rolling over or just his car?
Dynamo's car rolling over.
You know, if you pause it at the right moment, you can see a rope holding the car.
Just because it's so stupid. It's not the best effect in that I think it's the most impressive or the most technically difficult. It's the most silly and hilarious. And that's what this film is about. You shouldn't be looking for the technically competent things. It's just about the ridiculous things.
Alright, worst effect.
You go first. You did yours first.
Alright, I've chosen one, and it's barely an effect. And that's why it's the worst. Buzzsaw's death.
Yeah.
So they're grappling with a chainsaw, and Arnie brings it up and kind of cuts him in half from between his legs and then up through him, yeah? What we see is the chainsaw near his knee, and then we get a shot of like both of their heads facing each other, and Buzzsaw's like, "Rah!" And then a bit of blood splatters on his face.
$8 million over budget.
So Buzzsaw's death, worst effect.
My worst effect. Oh, I know. You know the airport chase, which we didn't talk about.
Yes.
He's been chased through the airport by security guards.
Yep.
And they just, like, drive up next to him and shoot a net at him. That's my worst.
But yes, that's an amazing scene. I can't believe we didn't talk about it. He gets through the airport security.
He does.
And then
his girlfriend just goes, help. She didn't do that while they were at security. She kind of waits a bit.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not even like he's particularly more distracted than or anything. It's like, whatever.
We get the other great Arnie line, remember, I could break your neck like a chicken's.
Yeah.
Alright, best effect, worst effect, we did it.
We did it.
What next? Oh, well, you know what's next.
The best section. The only section I'm here for.
Alright.
Why I put up with you for however long it's been.
So, well,
Yep.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
Where would she go in this film?
There is only one female character.
Well, there's... No, go on, I want you to, like, say why it's a good idea or a bad idea that she's the one woman in the film.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Why
It's just I'm mentioning because she's really rubbish. She doesn't do anything.
Well, she remembers the numbers after Dynamo kills
She
that
has
guy.
a memory like every other human on the planet.
I've just realised that Fireball didn't kill anyone,
No.
but Dynamo did.
Who does Dynamo
Dynamo
kill?
kills the geek guy.
Yeah, he does.
This is embarrassing.
This is embarrassing.
Parker is killed by Buzzsaw. But not, like, directly. He's killed by his injury. We get the classic cliche of Arnie runs up to him, like, 20 minutes later. He's like, bleeding out, man. Important moral message. Fight. Go. Do greatness. And then he dies.
Yeah, that's what he says. Go fight, do greatness.
And then Arnie didn't do a quip when he died.
He didn't.
Should have been like, that cuts me deep. Lachlan, which is that character's name,
Yeah.
is the other runner in the book.
It's the same name, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Who else could Jen have been? This is the important question, Joe.
That is the important question. She could have been... Oh, we didn't talk about the old lady. So it's after Buzzsaw and Sub-Zero have been killed. They pull someone else out of the crowd to choose the next hunter to go in.
Yeah.
And Killian's like, who do you think's going to make the next kill? And the woman goes, I think it'll be Ben Richards. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Even though it obviously is, and he's killed a bunch of people already.
Yeah, and they believe he's killed like 60 people before,
Yeah.
and that he's a hardened murderer.
Yeah.
So yeah, her. Jennifer Lawrence can be her.
No. I refuse.
She could be that lawyer who gets stabbed.
Why do you always give her the worst roles, Joe?
I can't
Is it
think
to
of
annoy
any
me?
like small characters in this. There's the stupid guy who can't choose between Dynamo, a man with an electric opera
some
singer,
LEDs.
and Buzzsaw, a man with a chainsaw and a motorbike. No, I can't do him. He's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
I can't decide.
He has the same voice as an old woman, apparently.
My limited impressions.
What is the name of the main woman character?
Couldn't tell you.
Because I guess she does the most.
Yeah. I just want to find a really obscure random person though. It's more fun that way.
Oh, the guy who's mopping the floor at the beginning.
Yes. That's perfect.
So that's it.
There's that TV woman right at the beginning, who's like right at the beginning of the movie when they're introducing the dystopia, and she's like, if you report people, you get points, and if you report a family member, you get double.
Oh yeah.
Jen could do that.
Yeah, she could.
She could.
I'll go along with that.
Cool.
There, I can now give this film not a 0, although I might give it a 0 anyway.
I think the mop person's the best.
I think the mop person's a good bet.
Yeah.
Let's go with the mop person.
Alright. I'll take it.
If you cast Jennifer Lawrence as the mop person.
As a doddering old man.
There.
Yeah, we did it.
It's now a perfect film. 10 out of 10.
Alright, leaderboards.
Leaderboards.
So, well, as you well know at the end of it, I don't know why I need to explain it. It's the word leaderboards.
Yeah.
We slap all the movies we've talked about on a leaderboard.
Yeah.
Currently, my standing is Jurassic Park, Alien, Batman Begins.
Yep.
That's from top to bottom.
Mine is Alien, Jurassic Park, Batman Begins.
It's very tough, this, Will.
Yeah.
Where could I put The Running Man? A film I've so highly praised all this episode.
Great at the bottom, isn't it?
It's at the bottom, yeah. And it's not just at the bottom. There's a big gap.
There's a big gap.
Yeah.
Like, even though technically it's fourth, it's not really.
If I could put it like 12th on our leaderboard of 4, I think I would.
Yeah. So yeah, sitting at the bottom.
Not surprising.
Not surprising.
But then again, we don't want to do all the great movies straight
That's right,
out.
yeah.
We'll save some. We're looking forward to doing some more dud movies at some point.
We're doing Spider-Man next.
We are doing Spider-Man next.
The running Spider-Man.
You heard. I reckon Spider-Man could have taken any of them.
Of course he could. Bi-weekly.
Yes, Will. Did you hear that Practically Effective is bi-weekly?
Really? I heard that's an excellent podcast.
That means they come out twice a week.
Yeah. Does not.
No, it doesn't.
Just once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks, people. We realised today that we haven't actually told anyone.
Because we weren't sure.
But from now on, hopefully, we're going to release 1 episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks ago, we released 3 episodes.
Yes.
And
because that was the first. We're behind schedule already because we meant to release 4.
we're not very effective.
No.
But then, as our title tells
We're
us...
living up to our title.
Yes. We're practically effective. Barely.
I'm tempted to do the outro in Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, but I'm not sure I can keep it up for more than like a one-liner. Well, I need email, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud,
You just need...
YouTube.
You can find us on, and then a SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. So that's only one more sentence.
I'm gonna do the voice.
I'm ready.
Thank you for listening to Practically Effective Podcast. And it's Scottish there. We have an email address, practicallyeffective@gmail.com. We are also on Facebook and Twitter at PracticallyFX. Also, you can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. We'll be back.